What's up, fam? Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. Today we are taking a look at a pair of budget-minded Bestechs. These are the regular Bestech line, so not going quite down to the Bestech Men, but Bestech. So first one we're taking a look at here is thanks to the pass around. This is the Bestech Mantidae. This is one that I'm not. It doesn't really do anything for me, but you guys know I'm just not a big fan of this type of knife, the kind of the Bacall knife. But it's really amazing when you consider the fact that this knife was designed by a 12-year-old. Granted, it was with the help of Ostap Hale, which, as you can see where it gets its name and everything, it is definitely very insect-like. Phenomenal in the hand, and a really cool little entry into that kind of that Bacall language. So let's go ahead and just do a quick spec check on here. We're looking at 2.94 inches on the blade, 6.94 overall, 3.38 ounces. Let's check that. So I should be up 3.4 ounces, so pretty doggone good there. Let's go ahead and take a close up here on this blade. You can kind of see that milling where it kind of gets that kind of the insect type look here. Standard G10, full length G10 backspacer. No lefty love. We do have a wire pocket clip here. Pretty good stuff, and it is designed by Lucas. Again, incredible stuff for a 12-year-old. Satin on the grinds and stonewash on your flats. Bestech logo there. 14C, there's your Lucas. Plunge grind is non-existent. Plunge grind actually goes into the edge. But again, that's a Bacall for you. Sharpening looks to be really well done. Lockup is phenomenal. And of course, as is not a surprise, the centering is on point. Again, a very cool knife. If this is your design aesthetic, you're not going to be disappointed. A very, very comfortable knife in the hand. The palm swell fills your hand very well. You do feel that pocket clip a bit, but this type of knife is not really made for extreme hard work or anything like that. It's going to be a very great for package opening. The action on it's pretty daggum good. Reverse flicks like money. It's got really great thumb studs on it. Really nice big thumb studs. I just kind of worry about dropping it down on my finger here. But now that I've seen where it drops, it's no issues there. So really, again, really fun, fidgety knife. Just like I said, just not my design aesthetic, or not my blade aesthetic, I should say. Design-wise, I think it's really cool. I think it looks great. It's again, it's just not something that personally I would own, but I'm glad I got to check it out, and I hope to see more stuff from this young man, because if his mind's already coming up with stuff like this, I cannot wait to see what he does in 5, 10, 15 years from now. So again, it's kind of an awesome time to be a knife guy, to see stuff like this coming from such young minds. But so staying in that kind of sort of wicked looking range, this is the Bestech Ivy. So this was or is my wife's Christmas gift. We've already exchanged gifts and everything. We can just kind of do that throughout the time. Now the lighting might be messing with this a little bit on the camera. This is looking, at least on my camera, on the screen here, it looks a little more blue. This is that kind of the Tiffany blue color. So just keep that in mind. I do offer these in bunch of different colorations, so pretty much anything you can think of. And this is, speaking of Ostap Hale, this is an Ostap Hale design. This kind of goes right in with the Dundee and all that stuff. So my wife seems to have a real affinity to Ostap Hale designs, and I can't say I blame her. This knife is very well done. She loves the smaller knives with the really easy functional flippers, and these just check all of those boxes. Again, 14C 28Ns, same around $60 for both of these. This one's a little bit on the larger side, so I mean a very little bit. You're looking at a 3.09 inch blade and 7.13 overall, and showing 2.8 ounces and 2.8 ounces, so spot on. So it's a little bit lighter, a little bit larger. Just because you don't have as much of a swell here on the body of the knife, on the handle of the knife, is why you're looking at a little bit of a lighter knife. So let's go ahead and take a close-up look here. So you do have some nice milling here on the some chamfering, whatever you want to call it, cutting out here on the G10. So you can see that there. It's kind of got some ridges milled into it. You have a dished pivot there, which is pretty cool. Open back design. You've got one single pillar and then a secondary pillar that runs through for the lanyard. So you can tie a lanyard on there with your lanyard pin. Then you have a big single pillar that runs through for your one screw. You see there you got the one screw design. Pocket clip, not deep carry, but it is a very, very functional pocket clip. Allows you to really grab a hold of that knife and get it pulled out of there. And then my wife again likes that because it allows her to grab a hold of the knife very easily. Very functional jimping. Jimping on the flipper, you don't really feel it, but with the way that flipper is shaped, just this thing rockets out of there. Again, typical BE.EDC.NC branding. You got a kind of a harpoon, it is kind of a harpoon. You got a swedged, kind of a hawkbill here. It's more like a modified Warncliffe. I don't know. It's not quite hawkbilly, but it does swoop down just a little bit, and I mean it's not much. I don't know if you're gonna be able to, well, let's see. Try to find a flat surface. Here, I'll just use this box. Here you go, so you guys can see there. So you do have a bit of a recurve in there, but it's not drastic, so it's not really crazy. So it shouldn't really affect sharpening much at all. Again, 14C 28N and O-stop hell. Typical, we have again a little bit of a late plunge grind, so sharpening is going to create a smile. But again, this is my wife's knife. It doesn't really get used that often. So when it does, we'll have to sharpen it up, no big deal. Tip is perfect. Lockup is, I didn't look at the lockup for you guys. Lockup is fantastic. And then dead center, and lock bar access is fantastic as well. Again, that's some of the stuff I look for when I'm kind of helping my wife pick out a knife, or I'm picking out a knife for her. Is I want to make sure it's got really good, easy flipper action. So you look for a flipper that's well done, and I know BE.EDC.NC does a really great job on these, and O-Stop Hell's designs are really great. And then lock bar access is another big thing. And then the overall general size of the knife, usually around a 7-inch overall length knife, is more what she looks for. And then it's just I've kind of found that to be the secret sauce, so to speak, for a knife for the wife. So just if you guys have a loved one that is into knives at all, just kind of do like me. I have never claimed to know what my wife wanted as far as a knife is concerned, or what anybody wants as far as knives are concerned. Perfect case scenario is today, or over the last couple of weeks actually, a buddy of mine's wife is kind of getting into knives, she wanted a knife. She wanted a pocket knife. And so we've just been slowly going through my collection and my wife's collection, trying to find something that she likes. And it's kind of that thing, same thing we go through, but as a guy, as the collector, we know what we want. We know what we like. We know the blade shapes. We know the handle materials. We know how everything feels. We can look at a knife generally, or look at the specs and just kind of know how it's going to fit in your hand. But for that case, for someone who's not in that spot, we need to let them get more hands-on. And that's why I always, it's a love-hate thing. I always kind of, I don't want to say scoff, but you see the posts and stuff online or on Facebook or wherever, on the groups or in anything where it's like, what's the best blah, blah, blah for the money, or my buddy wants to buy a knife. What's the best something, something for this price range, or what knife should I try to sell him, or what knife should he buy, or whatever, or what knife should she buy, or vice versa. You can't answer that with just knowing a price point. There's no way of answering that question with just knowing a price point. And I get a lot of times these guys are just trying to spark conversation, and I get that, but that is just kind of the wrong way to ask that question. It's when somebody tells me they're looking at buying a knife. Okay, great. What do you have anything in mind? Do you like flippers? Do you like thumb studs? Do you like this stuff? Do you not know what you like? Have you never had experience with a knife? Do you not have enough experience? And you ask these questions because you want to make sure that you don't turn someone off. It's the same thing with in the pew industry. You don't just say, oh, because you're a woman you need a J-frame S&W. No, you ask questions. You get what they are comfortable with. Anytime somebody, a friend of mine or anybody wants to again purchase a pew, it's, hey, let's go to a pew show. Let's get 100 of them in your hands and see what feels right, see what weight feels right, and all of that stuff comes into play. And especially on something like this, or a CCW where you're carrying this on you every day, or you have a collection of these that you're carrying every single day, and you want to make sure that it's something that they're comfortable with and something that they can use safely. So again, this is a long way of saying that this is what I have found to be the magic scenario for the wife. And in my buddy's case, his wife, she landed on a Sencut Watauga in my collection, and she seemed to like it. She only had a few things that she didn't like about it, but compared to other knives that she had picked up, that was kind of, it was less than what she didn't like about other knives. And so she went home with that one. That one, I gifted her my personal Watauga out of my collection, and that's that is her new knife. I told her, if you find out that you really don't like it or whatever, we'll start over. We'll find something else. We'll let you try whatever. So again, don't be afraid to talk to somebody if they're interested in knives or they're thinking about picking up a knife. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and hopefully help them make the right decisions. Anyway, back to this knife. In my particular hands, this thing fits great. I do get a little bit of a hot spot from the pocket clip. I don't really, and my wife didn't really feel that, so I'm not really too concerned about that. She liked the jimping, so she said the jimping wasn't too rough, but it was just good enough. I kind of have the same feeling. And then you also got that little bit of a thumb ramp there made by that little harpoon area. That fits great. It fits my hands great. The contouring is wonderful. I think they did a great job on the way that this knife feels in the hand. And I kind of get the name a little bit, kind of the poison ivy a little bit, but to me it looks more like a thorn. Yeah, I enjoy this knife. I think this is great. Again, it kind of falls in the same line as the Mini Dundee, in my opinion, of one of the best just flipper-only budget blades that I've handled in quite a long time. Anybody that I've ever handed one of these knives to, they're able to pick it up and they are able to just flip it open every single time without fail. The detents are tuned perfectly. The blade it works. The flipper's tuned well. It's just a fantastic knife for someone who isn't necessarily a knife person. Again, check them out. But that's all I got for you guys. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Please remember to be kind, be humble, and be EDC. Y'all take care.